It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Hey everyone, this is Kiana, your host of Q for Christ, and I'm coming to you, yes, with another fear series. Yes, this one is so special and it's such a touchy subject that I just want everyone to tune in to listen at it. We are talking about the fear of talking about mental health issues for Mental Health Awareness Month. So we want to make sure that everyone just can listen. Everyone that that come in, they will have some kind of outlet, will know how to get some kind of outlet, or know where to go if you need to talk about mental health, or don't try to hide it or whatever. So we want you to tune in. I guarantee you will love it. You will be able to enjoy it, and make sure you share it. Make sure you share it with someone that so they can hear it, so they can learn how that they can be able to talk about mental health and not to hide it or disguise it, because that's what we need to know. We need to reach out as a community where we can be able to talk and help each other out with the love of Christ. So all right, get ready for the message. It is so good. All right. Already. Hey everyone. This is Kiana, your host of Q for Christ, and we are on here with another fear series tonight. First off, I want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone that has liked, shared, comment, whatever you've done. I am so excited. And I don't take it kindly that what you do. If you want to always just leave me feedback, I am so happy to get back with you. But we just say thank you over here at Q for Christ. Tonight, we are coming with a topic that is kind of touchy, but we want to be able to talk on it a little bit. The subject tonight, we're going to be talking about the fear of talking about mental health issues. And we're doing this because of Mental Health Awareness Month, which is May. So I just wanted to get on here. First off, thank you to my panel. I am so excited to see y'all here. It's always good when I get ready to do these things, because I tell you, I get to talk with people that I hadn't talked to in a long time. I get to talk to people about different things. So I love it. So I'm going to introduce my panel really quickly. As you know, it's me, Kiana, your host, and we have Elder Harper, my co-host, so we don't have to really introduce ourselves too much. So I'm going to go with my sister Rosalind. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself, that would be so great.
Hi, I am Rosalind Arline. I have I graduated back in 2006 with a degree in psychology and sociology. Yeah, I'm getting old. I have been working for the last 5 years as a case support worker, working with children in foster care.
Okay, that's so awesome. I really love that. That is so awesome. I mean, anytime when you can work with children, I applaud people that do that, because my patients ain't thin enough. So, or thick enough. I'm sorry. Well, all right, we're gonna go to Mr. Gerald. How are you tonight?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
My name is Geraldine. My background is IT, administration, and networking. I was in the Marine Corps for 14 and a half years, so that was an experience. Just happy to be here tonight.
All right. And I thank you, because I asked you on last minute to be here. I'm so excited that God sent you, okay? Because I really was looking for somebody after my other co-host couldn't be here. So I'm thank you. Thank you for coming. I short notice.
No problem.
All right. And I'm gonna go to someone that is so near and dear to my heart. My mother, Essie. I'm so glad that she is here. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
My name is Essie J. Arline, and I have been a psychiatric nurse for over 40 years. I'm the mother of 15 children. I birthed 7 of those. And I'm just happy to be on the panel tonight.
Well, I thank you. I thank you for even coming, because it was a struggle to get you here. So I thank you for coming. All right. And last but certainly not least, I have the privilege of having one of my coworkers. We've been working together for probably about 3 years now, maybe 4 years, something like that. And he is almost finished with his nurse practitioner. I'm so excited for him. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, Carl?
All right. My name is Carl Williams. I also served in the military. I did 14 years in the Army, and I've been a registered nurse for about 10 years.
Mm-hmm. That's so awesome, man. I'm telling you, like when I tell you that we have had some times in the emergency room, I don't think people understand. The emergency room ain't for the faint. I mean, it ain't for the weak. That's what I mean. So, well, all right, we're gonna go into a quick prayer, and then we'll get into the message. Elder Harper, could you give us a quick prayer?
Lord God, we thank you tonight for everyone who has joined with us, God. We thank you for bringing us all together for the purpose that you have set before us to talk about fears, of talking about mental health. We thank you that we're alert and we have so many things in our heart that we would want to share. God, give us the direction and what would need to be brought out, God, to help those who are listening and watching. Father, we pray that hearts are changed, minds are changed, that someone gets some hope, that somebody receives something that they would not have gotten anywhere else, Lord God. So we thank you for all that you're going to say and do in this broadcast. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Okay, well, I'm gonna jump right on into it. Like I said, we are discussing the fear of talking about mental illness. You know, a lot of people, you know, don't really know the full definition of fear. So I always try to make sure I give the full definition of fear, which is, of course, I always say encyclopedia, but my children talk about me when I say encyclopedia. But anyways, I would say that anyway. So I have the definition of fear is to be afraid of something or someone, or to be uneasy or apprehensive about something or someone. And so when I thought about this, or when this subject came to mind, I was like, why is it so hard for people to even talk about this? I mean, it's such a touchy subject when it comes to it, because in my opinion, I think all of us have a little bit of mental illness. In my opinion, we just know how to handle it a little bit differently. So I jotted down 6 reasons of why some people may not want to talk about it. The first one is that they worry that people may think that they're weird or, leave them out. I know that a lot of people, they probably think that, people will look at them weird. I know when we get some in the emergency room, they may think we look at them weird, but I'm looking at you like, baby, if you just don't know what I done been through, I could be in that bed where you are. So, I mean, seriously, I'm here to be transparent, because I'm not gonna say that, I don't think about things, but like I said, we know how to handle them a little different. And then another one is not wanting to be treated any differently when they do find that, they have any mental illness, or, and then they worry that people are going to spread rumors, or thinking that people may say, things about them being just silly, thinking that they, just want attention. You know what I'm saying? And then another one is that they concerned that people will make a big deal of it. And I know, and that was one of the things that I was talking about. Some people that suffer from pain and they get depressed or whatever, they don't want people to know that they are depressed, because they are trying to, people might make a big deal of it, and they don't want that. A lot of people don't really want the attention, and they worry about the nasty things that people may say, and I jotted down just a few different types. And I'm only going through these a little bit quick because a lot of these got the same questions in it, and I don't want people to start talking about it before we get to the questions. And but the different types of the mental illness that I jotted down, and these just a few of them, is anxiety disorder, depression, bipolar disorder, neurodevelopment disorder, mood disorder, schizophrenic and psychotic disorder, feeding and eating disorder, personality disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, which I know a lot of people got that right there. I'm just going to be honest. A lot of people have that OCD, baby. And then post-traumatic stress disorder. So we are, I just wanted to kind of give that that background of some of the different disorders and some of the reasons why. So I want to just move right ahead and go to the first question so we can, just dive right in of the discussion. So one of the first questions that I do have is, what are some of the negative reasons why you think that people try to hide their mental illness? So if anybody want to speak on that, I can really go. And what I'm talking about is like maybe depression or, or PTSD or, something like that. Because we can tell those schizophrenic people. I know I can tell them. But so, anybody wants to speak on that?
Well, I'll come in and speak on the PTSD. Basically, coming from the Marine Corps and other military services, you're taught, especially in the Marine Corps, you're taught to, you have to be real strong. You can't show fear. You have to, keep going regardless of whatever is going on, and that's plainly for the military mostly. You're there to do a job if you're at war, at the times, but a lot of people, when you come back from being deployed,
right,
and they get out of the military, and it's like a culture shock because you have to adjust to being without structure like the military. The civilian world is a lot different from being in the military, where you have structure. This person is ahead of you. You're top. As you get rank, you get certain rank, and you get certain authority over people. So you're basically, leading different people. But in the civilian world, it's not like that. You basically, you come out, anybody can say anything to anybody. There's no repercussions for it. But mostly people that's coming back from being in war, they're still dealing with, waking up in the middle of the night, having, dreams about being over there. And really the military hasn't until recently addressed the need for treatment for PTSD. Before it was just like, hey, just suck it up, keep going. But now, everybody's kind of, trying to help you out to get help. Even if you have it, it's still hard to get medical, treatment for it, because they're saying, hey, you're trying to fake it, whatever. Right. So a lot of people, they're like, well, I'm not going to, deal with it. But the suicide rate for PTSD has gone up extremely.
Right.
Just because people don't want to come out and say, hey, I have a problem.
Exactly.
Simply as that, and it doesn't make it any better that they're trying to get diagnosed with it, not just to get disability for money. They're just trying to get help. But they look at it as, hey, you have to prove that you have PTSD. Right. Tell me what, this, you can't really, with PTSD, it might not hit you now. It might not hit you, for 3 or 4 years, maybe 5, 10 years. Something could set it off that just sets it off, and you don't know what it is until it actually happens to you. So when you try to go get help, they're looking at you and say, well, why did you wait so long? Because I didn't experience anything.
Right.
You know.
I want to jump in right there where you said, like, why do you wait so long? And even if you do mention it, you try to go to BAS or something like that while you're in, it's still shunned. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because they have
Right.
things set up in the core where you should be able to go speak to somebody while you're in, but
Right.
really in reality, because they advertise it, you know,
Mhm.
it's out there. It's on the website, it's on the pages, you know, it's you know, if you see somebody, you know, going through something, say something, that kind of thing, but really within internally, it's not really smiled upon, it's actually frowned upon. So that's
Right.
why it gets to that point.
Exactly.
And it's a trap. I kind of feel like it is a trap, because if you go to them and they say, well, you got to really prove it, then now once you prove it, it's on your record. You know what I'm saying? So now it's making it look really, really bad. I know, and then some people have had to go to the point where, you know, their spouses was catching them online, you know, well, with a camera, and it makes them where they can't work anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you get that whole, that trap is like, well, I got to go to this full extent for y'all to really know that it's really, really affecting my life. You know what I'm saying? But if I can get help, I can still be able to work and still be able to take care of my family. So, you know, that's you know, that's good in itself, you know, that you said that, because a lot of people don't realize that, you know, PTSD, you know, is something, it's real. You know, I mean, it is really real. So
And I
anybody
want to add
else?
to that if possible.
Mhm.
As Gerald was saying, the way that the military is broken down, they teach you to be strong.
Mhm.
I think it was a movie they were saying pain is weakness leaving the body. And they
Mhm.
really kind of, you know, if you show weakness, you know, you're not part of the pack, so to speak. You
Right.
know, you can't even go for a hurt ankle sometimes without people think you're malingering. So if you're telling
Right.
them you're having
Exactly.
some mental health
Exactly.
problems, they are going to go, ah, yeah, whatever. And, you know, when I was in, a lot of people don't realize this is signs and symptoms, is what I wrote down. People can't realize that you're going through something until possibly it's almost too late. It usually takes a
Right.
family member or somebody to say, well, why are you doing this? Or,
Right.
you know, let it be 4th of July and you've got, you know, firecrackers going off and you're jumping and you're like, oh, wait a minute. And
Right.
it's a reaction
Even
to a lot
before
of
the
the things that are going
firecrackers,
on.
even
Yeah.
before the firecrackers,
Right.
even the fact that we had the grill and there's all these
Right.
people around, and I don't know these folks at the
Right.
cookout, right?
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So it's
Yeah.
a lot that goes on with mental health, and being a nurse. I think before, well, first off, being a medic, you know, we were really just taught to take care of the body, start an IV, you know, bandage an ankle, do this. So the mental health part didn't really get a lot of focus. Now on the billboards and all that, that sounds great, but like young ladies internally, they don't really push you to go. Like now, it's something that's more prominent, and a
Right.
lot of the supervisors, they'll start to push you there, but it's usually just to cover their butts. It's
Right.
usually
Exactly.
something to where they're like,
Right.
okay, I don't know what to do. Go see this person. Go see that person.
Right.
But very rarely is it something that is, you know, it usually takes a battle buddy, like we call them in the Army, a battle buddy,
I remember
spouse,
that.
Right.
family or friends to kind of pull you to the side, or like they have those interventions and they say, hey, look, man, I need to talk to you, man. You got this going on. You got that going on. You're coming to work late, or I've noticed you're not sleeping. So it takes somebody to step in.
Right.
And I'm glad there's another male on this panel, because a lot of times as men, we are not going to show anybody that we got anything going on. We don't want
Exactly.
anybody.
Exactly.
We don't want anybody to
Right.
see our bank account, let alone know that we've
Right.
got a mental health
In
problem.
general.
Exactly.
But
Right.
every now and again, you know, if me and Gerald friends, you know, and I've got a group of friends now that I speak to, because I had some mental health things going on. I didn't realize it until I was like, man, what's going on with me?
Right.
To kind of, you know, it's easy to diagnose somebody else, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
hard to diagnose yourself.
That is
So,
so
you
true.
know, the fact that, you know, and I see it on Facebook, you know, if you need somebody, reach out to a brother. But, you know, it takes a real friend to reach out and to kind of possibly make somebody uncomfortable. Hey man, is everything okay? Because
Right.
you got some people that want to be nosy, and you got some people that want to mind their business. And sometimes they don't know when to do what. So if I
Right.
say, Gerald, hey man, what's going on? Or if he says, hey Carl, I noticed some things going on. Why don't you come over to that barbecue? I noticed you haven't been coming
Right.
around. So
Right.
a big thing that a lot of people don't talk about in the military, when you go through the military, I was in the military from 17 and 14 years. So from high school until 2012. So that was a big part of my life. And the bonds and everything you create in there, that's your family, because you're away
Yeah.
from your family.
Right.
So imagine having to get out and leave your family.
Mhm.
So it's tough.
That is so good. And you know what? I never really thought about it like that, after you've been with these people. I mean, of course, I've been, like I said, with Gerald, me and his wife been friends for 20 years. Me and Darlene is, I don't know, we coming up on, let's see, 15, 16 years, I think. And, a lot of the people that I have met in the military, we just kind of stayed together. But, like you said, for men that were in, that's like their family, those people that they work with these years or whatever. And to be leaving them, that could be like a big, big chunk of what goes on,
Yeah.
Wow. I just thought of that's good. That's a good example. Like seriously. Monique, like on the children's side, and I know you work with a lot of children, how does it look when you can recognize that they're trying to hide their mental illness, or are they trying to hide that, that breakout or, of mental illness?
Well, I will say this. Most of the time when, because I deal with kids with in foster care, most of the time, well, not most of the time, all of the time, when they get into foster care, that's a traumatic experience.
Right.
And so the first thing that we're looking at is getting them a therapist.
And that's good.
We want them to, have somebody that they can talk to about those things. We call it the honeymoon stage because in most cases, they're going to be the sweetest kids for a few weeks. But then after that, automatically, they have those behavior challenges or they have those mental illness. It's going to show. And so the great thing is, again, we have therapists already there. The foster parents are usually talking to the therapist before all of the appointments to let them know pretty much what's going on, so we can, get that taken care of as soon as we can. So a lot of times, because there's so many eyes on those kids, somebody's gonna see it. I'm a case support worker. I'm coming in the home. There's defects case worker. She's also coming in the home. You have that therapist coming in the home once a week. So all of us are coming. So eventually somebody's gonna see something.
Oh man, I'm telling you, and it's just like you said, it's such a traumatic experience for them, being pulled away from their home, what they have known for just, a few years or whatever, and to be able to have to go through that experience of having to, like similar to the military, like they left their family. So, they leaving their family, and now you have the similarities as a child that, okay, we leaving our family. I know, I'm gonna tell you, when I left my California family, I felt like I left a big chunk away. Like I literally did. That was one of the biggest moves that we had to do when we moved from California. And I was like, God, I'm leaving a big chunk of my family, because I had to really learn how to get new people. I had to learn how to step out. I had to learn how to do things differently. At that moment, that's when I had to learn how to be Kiana, pretty much. And it was like new to Kiana, you know what I'm saying? But to leave that, it was like, wow, it was a big difference. So I can imagine what the children have to go through in that instance, having to learn somebody new, you know. Yeah, and it took me a while. In Charlotte, I don't even think I really learned too many people. I don't even think I got friends, got close to people because I knew I was gonna have to leave. And that could be why children, when they get in that foster care, they don't want to learn people because it's like, God, they're gonna be pulled away from me, or that fear of them being pulled away. So that's pretty good. Anybody else want to say anything else on that?
I just feel like a lot of people in all segments of life is suffering in silence.
Right.
Because of the stigma that comes with mental illness.
Right.
People, calling them names and, behind the scene.
Right.
And a lot of people, just be silent about it until, it's very noticeable.
Right. Right. And that's when now we, you have to take a further step into, commending them here or trying to get them some help really quick. But, in actuality, if we can get people to speak about it, then we can probably deal with it from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, that's good. I'm so I love this.
I want to just throw one more thing out before you go to question number 2, and let me know if you want me to read any of these or not.
I did.
But, I just want to give like a shout out to the young people. If any young person watches this, I just want to give a shout out to the Zoomers, because honestly, with the social media that has been that's going on, they have really began to bring these topics out and start talking about them. I mean, it's literally almost trendy, to talk about these things. Unfortunately, the negative side of it is that it is actually even trendy to be depressed. Unfortunately, it's actually trendy to be
toxic.
Just go down this.
Right.
It's cool, it's cute, it's cool. I must say, that's where I'm from. We're gonna say, oh, you think that's cute. But anyway, the point is that the fact that they're bringing it out, I think is good. I think that they still need some wisdom from the older generations to really bridge that gap and to, come up out of it and not to stay there. But I just do wanted to just mention them that the older generations may have a harder time talking about it and still kind of turning the wheel on this thing and getting into it and being really normal, even though like it's been a big push and that kind of thing. And I mean, it's still pushing. What I'm just saying is that they've kind of caught a hold to it and running with it. I just want them to run in the right direction, but I digress. So
right.
Kiana, real quick, another reason that I wrote down was when I was growing up, you had to break a bone to go to the doctor.
Right.
You had to break a bone, and Robitussin fixed everything. So a lot of it is
cultural stuff.
Yeah, but a lot of stuff is access to care.
Right.
So when it comes to insurance, when it comes to being able to pay for these things, we have some people who don't have the money to go to a doctor visit, let alone a mental health appointment. So that's one of the things. And I have to speak about a lot of times as a male, our therapist was our barber. Well, I'm bald now, so much for that. But, our therapist was our barber or our uncle, or maybe it's our pastor or somebody. Right. So a lot of times we or a bigger brother or older brother. So, or your coach when you play sports. So a lot of it is access to care. So since we don't have that access to care, you have other people in your community that kind of step up and may kind of take you under their wing and say, hey, let me help you with this. Now, are they trained? No. But they do the best they can do.
Right.
But, one thing I can speak on the medical side and being in nurse practitioner school, the biggest thing is access to care. There's not enough mental health providers. And as you know, working in the ER, there's not enough facilities because we end up holding on to them for days.
Days.
Yeah.
And it pulls staff off of the, now we can't take care of the other people properly because we're, pulled to a different which, my mom worked at the facility too. They closed it down They closed it down here in Georgia.
Yeah,
Central.
a lot of all over the world, they closing state hospitals down,
So now they don't have nowhere to go, and no access, like you said, access to care. That's good. A lot of people don't think about that. That they don't have the access to it. So that, yeah, that raises a lot of questions. Like, as a community, are we failing people? Like, are we failing, people that wants to get care, that people that needs to get care? Are we failing them? So, because of money wise, or because of being the greed of, of the economies, we got to have this, you got to have that. And we're failing people. And, that's why people are, going, resulting to killing themselves, or resulting of, doing this and doing that, and doing drugs or alcohol. It's a shame that you could get access to, drugs more than you could get access to care,
Yeah.
and,
The state hospital where I worked at was open for over 100 years, and it was a need then, and it's surely more of a need now.
right.
And Kiana, since you said you have access to drugs, and then you don't have access to, like we were saying, the mental health care. So how many people are dealing with mental health issues that are deciding to use drugs? Deciding to, you know what, I want to turn the voices off, I'm going to take this.
Right.
Or so some people, they don't know who to talk to. So, but neighborhood drug dealer, they're friendly. So they can help you with your problem. And I'm not advocating for that, but I'm just saying that I know some people who had mental health issues and drug issues. So which came first? And a lot of times I think the mental health issue is what led them down that path.
Right. That's so good. That is so good. Oh man.
Well, you know what? That kind of went into our number two a little bit.
We did. It did.
Oops, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
So it was, who do you think is mostly affected with suffering from mental illnesses? And another part of it that we can kind of bring up is, do you think it's hereditary? So who do you think is most affected? And do you think any of that has anything to do with genetics, or is it hereditary?
From what I've learned, I believe that a good portion of it is hereditary, but a lot of it is your environment as well. So it's nature versus nurture. So if you come up in a very difficult environment, I was doing something in my truck and I saw the load bearing, how much this truck can tow, and how much, the capacity that how many people can fit into it. And I say that because we all have a load, a mental load, and we don't know, it's not written down like in my truck, but if you put too much on a person, they are going to eventually have some sort of depression, anxiety.
Yeah, we wish we could see a number on a person.
I wish it was and I'd be like, I'm this close to my number, guys. I need you to leave me alone.
Like, don't you see the sign? I'm almost there. Don't you see?
Yeah, go and take me away.
Right.
Rosalind could add to that as well. When I want her to get something into, but you can finish what you were saying, sir.
No, I was just saying I think it really depends on. Sometimes it's hereditary. We do see people whose parents or well, I can't really say significant others, but parents do pass things down genetically. But you can have somebody who doesn't have any, to their knowledge, mental health problems, keyword to their knowledge.
Right.
And then depending on what they experienced as a person, we talked about PTSD. And, me and Gerald, we shared our part about the military, but you have people who've been in abusive relationships that have PTSD. You have kids. We're talking about some of the foster kids, they've got PTSD. So it just really, it just really all depends, but I don't want to take too long, but it's probably a balance of both. And I can't say who is mostly affected. It's almost like who realizes they're most affected is kind of what I'm thinking about, because we can be affected and not know it.
That's
right.
that's good. What you were gonna say, Monique? I mean, Rosalind. Sorry.
Well, I absolutely agree with everything he said. You know, a lot of times it is hereditary when you come to, you know, things like bipolarism and, you know,
Yeah.
PTSD. Not PTSD, but bipolar, schizophrenia. A lot of that stuff is definitely hereditary. But I would say when you're, you know, looking at as far as who
Sorry, your camera went
suffer.
out.
I am so sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry, someone is calling me. So
Oh, sorry.
I don't
Okay.
know how to end it. So I'll keep on
There we
talking
go.
until there we go. Okay. So basically, you know, with that, I would say a lot of men may go through some of that a little bit more as far as like I lost my train of thought when someone calling me, but but with you know, certain things or not wanting to talk about it or whatever, they have so much stuff put on them. They're supposed to be the provider. They supposed to be a protector. So a lot of those things they supposed to do, military or not, I would say, without saying anything about it. You know, you cry, you know, hey, you're a man up, you know.
See,
And
and you
so
know, we did that the fear of crying when I
mhm,
talked with men, and
Right.
that's one of them things that they were saying. You know, you ain't supposed to cry. You know, it's one of those things. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no. I mean, yes, you know, man up. So a lot of men, you know, and I'm not taking away from what us women do, but I'm a woman. I feel like we're a little stronger when it comes to certain things. That's just my opinion. You know, because you know, we take it and keep running a lot of times. But I'm seriously, men, you know, they're supposed to be our protector. They're supposed to be providing for us. And so if something go wrong in the household, if it's a mom and a dad there, folks looking at that dad, you
Yep,
know, financial, all that weighs on them. And
that's
so
true.
you know, that's what I would say as far as like who may be affected the most.
Right. And that's so good because, like you said, you know, the man is supposed to be, you know, everything in the household. You know, they're supposed to be that protector. And when you look at the social media, how the social media make things look, for a man, if they not, and of course I'm not the one to be, you know, comparison. I don't compare myself to nobody, but I know a lot of men can end up comparing, or women too can end up comparing themselves, and if they don't look like what looks like online, now they get, you know, feel a certain type of way, and they hide it. So Carl, did you have
Kiana,
something? Mm-hmm.
yes, I did. Since you brought up that social media portion and I reread, you know, question 2,
Mm-hmm.
um, who do we think is most affected? I'm seeing a large trend of teenagers
Mm-hmm.
starting to come in because of that social media aspect. I remember when I was in high school, you dealt with whatever drama at school, you
And
know,
right,
got on the bus and went
Right.
home. So now they're plugged in 24/7,
Hmm.
like you said,
right,
comparing themselves. And you've got these kids have body image issues, they're changing,
that's so
pimples,
Right.
etc.
Right.
And you know, they're looking at Cardi B, they looking at Megan Thee Stallion, they looking at
right,
Beyonce, and the guys looking at The Rock or whoever, and they're like, "Well, I
right,
don't look like that. There must be something wrong with me."
right,
And not until they are older can they realize and embrace, you know, their beauty. But
right.
they're going through a tough time because, you know, everybody wants to be
Like
what they see up
somebody
there on that
else.
screen,
Right.
Right.
and it
That's so
starts
good.
in high school. It starts, but you know, you've got the Instagram people. You know, you got people going to get, you know, plastic
Right.
surgery and different things going on to try to fit in or meet what their expectation of beauty is.
Right,
So, you know, I feel like God doesn't make any mistakes.
right,
So, you
Mm-mm.
know, you've got what you've got, but
Hmm.
people want to fit that mold of whatever's you kind of held up to be, you know, how we say keep up with the Joneses. Well, the Joneses
right,
is social media now. So
right.
Right. Right.
That's
everybody's
good.
chasing
An
what
image.
is in. Yeah,
that
that image,
image.
that image. So I feel bad for my kids because I wish there was a certain time, like there was a time where TV went off back in the day, like
Mm-hmm.
the
Right.
national anthem came on and
Yep,
That
that
TV
was
was
went
it.
it.
off.
That was
I
it.
wish I wish that social media turned off at 9 o'clock and everybody could go to bed and
Right.
they can unplug and not have to worry about it. But I see my son steadily on his phone, my daughter
Right.
steady on their phone, and they're plugged into what everybody else has got going on. And a lot of times you're missing life. You're
Right.
missing,
Mhm.
you're not even talking to your family that's right next to you.
Right.
How was school? How was dinner?
Yeah.
This was that. And
Yep.
I think that's a big part of what's missing. So
That is
that's my
so
two
Yeah,
good.
cents.
and the tie-in what Carl was saying, social media is like you said, when we were kids, you got on the bus, you went home, you didn't see the person to the next day.
Right.
But now all these kids are tied in, and it's not even, they're looking at the Cardi B's, the football players, all the athletes and everything, but they're being compared to their peers are looking at their Instagrams and they're looking like, oh, you can't unplug, so they're constantly judging them and they're looking at what people are saying about them. So that, that basically causes them to have depression. And that's how
Right.
you're having the suicide rates that you're having in the teens now, because they're trying to be, that Cardi B or that,
Or the next,
Beyonce,
yeah.
whoever it is that they see on Instagram or, on TikTok or whatever, and their peers are looking at their Instagram pages, Facebook pages, TikTok, like, hey, you aren't all that, blah, 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 making comments
Right.
and everything. It's a
Right.
part of bullying, but that bullying causes
That's your bullying.
depression.
Yeah.
Right.
That does cause depression in that teen,
Mhm.
where even some adults are like that too. They're,
Right.
in their early 20s, they're looking at social media and hey, I need to keep up with this,
Right.
so it's a constant,
Right. It's a
constant thing
constant
that's going
battle.
on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, them people on there are not, they ain't even halfway real. I ain't gonna say they ain't halfway real, but they, it's just a picture. They don't edit that junk. You know what I'm saying? For the most of it, everything is edited now. And
Right.
social media can be used. It can affect and hinder our children, and that's good, because we have had a lot of teenagers that we have come through the ER that are suicidal, that have tried to kill themselves, overdose or whatever, and it's been just this, teen after teen after teen, and they're getting younger. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's to the point where it's like, dude, what kind of problem you got at 10? What you thinking about? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but
Because
they're
they're on
getting
social
younger
media,
and
yeah.
younger. It's the
They're on
social
social
media.
media. So it's
Social
Yeah.
media. Yeah.
they get a
And-
phone in their hand when they're 5 or 6 years old,
right. Now,
And
earlier than that now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I mean, definitely teenagers, but even with adults,
Right.
there's sometimes, like for me, even, like, I have to fast away from Facebook for a little while, because sometimes you go on there, you see people lives, and you like, oh man, they doing all this. Look, they traveling. Why I'm not doing this? Why I'm not doing that? And then you
Like,
start, as adults, we
let me
start
travel with
thinking,
you.
man, we wish we were somewhere else because they make it look so good. And then you have to think about it. Hey, they're taking the best part of their life and showing
Right.
it. They're not going to show the negative. And sometimes it's hard for people to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, see, okay, there's a difference between this and that. And then it caused depression. And with teenagers, with adults, alike.
Right. That's true.
Mhm.
This is good. I'm telling you. This is actually better than what I thought it was gonna be. Anyways, I'm gonna I think I'm gonna just chop it down to maybe, one more question, because we'll be here all night talking about this. I'm gonna kind of combine two questions in one. Like, what steps do that someone should take when they feel like that mental health is, the issues is coming up, and do you think that they can overcome it, after those steps have been taken? And for me, I can, Like I can start and say, you know, one step is to realize it. If you can realize it, I remember one time, Rosalind, that you were saying that when you feel overwhelmed, you'll get to the point where, you know, everything in your room is out of order. You know what I'm saying? So if you can kind of like see it coming on, then you can kind of like, okay, let me take a step to do the, so what do you think should the steps should be, you know?
Okay. Well, you know, I guess when it comes to, for me now, there are, again, social media is good. It can be good, it can be bad. But one thing that they do have now on social media, or not social media, but on the internet, is they have access to therapists. You know,
Online.
if there's any time that you're feeling lonely or you're upset about something, you can call a free hotline.
Right.
And talk to somebody right then.
Right.
You know, but I would challenge, because again, sometimes when we're going through things, we don't know that we're going through it, or we, you know, we may not, you know, again, you know, I've studied psychology, I've studied sociology. So there are certain things that are triggers that I see, and I'm like, okay, I need to work on some things. Again, I get burnt out sometimes, and, you know, seeing some of the things I see in my field. And then, you know, now that I know to, you know, those triggers or those different things, I make sure that I'm doing self-care, and I'm making sure I'm taking care of myself. But somebody else may not know those types of things. So I would challenge friends and family members, if they're seeing things that are out of the way, or things that are, you know, not common for a particular person, I challenge them to, hey, you okay?
That's yeah.
Just ask that question. Are you okay today? Like, you know, what's going on? You know, I'm here for you to talk to, but if not, hey, listen, let's get you some help, you know. If they are noticing those things, I would challenge them to go ahead and, you know, find a therapist, or find a doctor to go to, so they can refer them to someone. Because sometimes it is something that medication can take care of. Other times it's something that you need to sit on somebody's red couch and talk about, you know.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Kiana, go ahead.
I love the way she sent out that challenge. And I think that was really awesome, because I feel like the biggest, closest access to help is our community, you know, those who actually know us, because they got the data, they got the information, like they know the best, you know, so they can see those differences and those slight changes and things like that. So that really leads it back to us individually, of taking on that responsibility to communicate, to be there for people, which sounds a lot like love to me, right? So that's one thing. And then the second thing I wanted to say was, I really wish that they would teach more on emotional intelligence and awareness and things like that in school, you know, and just really kind of make this a conversation that could be a preventative thing.
Absolutely.
And just like, if we want to normalize it, you know, let's start early by helping us to recognize, because really the fact of the matter is, young people, they're not quite developed yet, so they don't know themselves. Like, we're grown now, you know, like you said. When I notice when I'm getting overwhelmed or certain things are triggered, well, young people don't always recognize those things. They don't always recognize, oh man, I know I'm feeling some kind of way, but how can I follow that? Like trail that along, trace that to what, you know. They don't always know how to make those connections and really be able to put language to what's really going on within them, you know. So I just think that would be something awesome to add into the pot.
All right, Carl.
Oh, I was gonna say, we touched on the men, and the one thing we didn't touch on is y'all beautiful women. And I think to my mom, I think to a lot of mothers that I know, and it's almost like that pot that you leave on the stove. If you leave the water in there for too long, it's gonna bubble over. So when it gets to the point, like, you have so much stress, you have anxiety, you have bills, you're taking care of kids, you've got all this going on. And just because somebody has this expression, like they can handle it all. So like, I believe it was Rosalind saying women are a little bit stronger. Yes, a lot stronger. And you're able to multitask and you're able to take care of the kids and take care of this. And sometimes when they were saying take care, have your family help you, why not men if you're in the house, women, what have you, grandmothers, take that kid, babysit them kids, let
Absolutely.
let mom go have a spa day. Let mom go see a movie. Let mom go through the drive-through and not have to order a Happy Meal. Let her get what she wants. Let her go buy whatever she wants to do without any kids. And that alone can be a, you know, kind of like a de-stressor, you know, so you can have a little time to yourself to kind of go, whew, and kind of bring it down. So it's like, all right, now let me go back. But some people don't have an outlet. Some people don't have that friend, and your church may be the one that does that, or it may be your coworker. So that's something that, you know, and there's some dads that do a lot of stuff too out there, but 99% of it is mom, and mom is doing everything, and mom does not have help. And just because mom can juggle 30 things don't mean mom should juggle 30 things all the time. So, you know, there was times when I would be like, hey, I got the kids, I'll do this. And they're like, what? It's like, yeah, because I see you over there. I might not do it as good as you. I might plait this hair and it might look crazy, but go on and, you know, go do something, enjoy yourself. And that's, everybody needs an outlet. Everybody I don't care if mom goes and goes to the gym or if she goes to wherever, but everybody needs a day off.
Absolutely. And you know, because I'm a single, can you hear me? No?
Yeah.
I was saying, because I'm a single mom, and my kids are a little bit older now, I'm able to see when my nieces and my cousins, they're going through certain things. And like you said, hey, bring your, I can keep her this weekend. Come on, bring her over here.
And she will, trust me.
Yeah. So you're absolutely right. We, you know, us women, we do need those outlets and to learn our own triggers.
Right. And like you said, everybody needs an outlet. You know, they say it takes a village. So it takes a village for us to be able to look at each other, not just to raise a child, but to help each other out. You know, we need to be able to help each other out versus, you know, just saying, oh, go pray about it. You know what I'm saying? Prayer is good. Don't get me wrong. Prayer is the key to everything. But if you don't know your triggers and you don't know how to handle it, it's also, you won't even know how to use your prayer. You know what I'm saying? You won't even know. So that's the whole fact of the matter is, and that was one reason why I wanted to do this, because I don't want people to just think that, oh, okay, you can go pray about it. You can go and seek help. It's in the Bible where you can go and you can seek help. You know what I'm saying? Just like, because we don't know. It says in Jeremiah 17:9, the heart is more deceitful than all else and is desperately sick. Who can understand it? So even the Bible is telling us that our own heart is deceitful. So that means that our mind and our heart is, together. So if we don't know how to go and seek help, that's the main thing, is to seek help. And a lot of people, like you said, if they don't have that outlet, so that's good. Did anybody else want to say anything?
Well, I want to say that we just got to be compassionate and watch out for be our brother's keepers. You see someone that you see that's distressed and going through a lot of problems for us, going under a lot of stress, and everything you all said was really wonderful, because we supposed to be our brother's keeper and try to help out. because it's a
Exactly.
thin line between sanity and insanity, honey.
It
With
sure
everything that's going on in this world, it's been something. And I
right.
had a mother-in-law that kept my children and gave me, time for myself. And I'm just thankful because I worked at Central State. I worked at the hospital and, would be locked inside with them. And but you got to have compassion and care about people. And you see
Right.
people that's having a problem, talk to them gently, and not just going
Right.
and, just saying, calling them out their name and all this stuff.
Yeah. We have to,
Got to be
you
compassionate.
have to, like I tell people, I'm a step away from being in the bed where you at. So I have
That's
to,
right.
that's how I look at that's how my compassion is, because I'm not looking at you as, your problems. I'm looking at you as a person, because
Right.
I'm visualizing that myself could be there. You know what I'm saying? Versus, it could be the total opposite way, you
A
know.
thin line, honey. I'm telling you.
Like you said, it's a thin line.
Hallelujah.
Yes. So I'm gonna go through the acronym for fear that I have. I'm gonna go through it very quickly. I gave one of the scripture for it, and the F stands for false reaction to hiding it. Some people's first reaction is to hide their mental illness. That's the first issue. Hiding it or disguising it only makes the problem worse. We often talk about how people don't even realize their sickness, and it's the same thing, or illness, or breaking a bone, or whatever. Some people wait
Right.
to that last minute, and then now you have to take further steps into having to clear your mind or doing whatever. And it was a good example that you said about the pot boiling, and you got the pot boiling, and then once it get over to the top, now you don't wait it too long. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't burn the pot. All the water is gone. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I done did plenty of time where I had an egg in there and I forgot the egg just boiling, now the egg burnt up. You know what I'm saying? So we wait to those last minutes, and then but we have to realize that it's okay to let someone know that you have these thoughts, so they can pray with you, or
That's
so they
right.
can help, find you some help. Like I said in Jeremiah 17:9, the heart is more deceitful than all else and is desperately sick. Who can understand it? So, that's one of those things where we can't hide. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be that one where, we can just say, oh, go pray about it. I want somebody to come to me and say, I'm having these thoughts. So let's, okay, I'm going to pray with you, but we're going to find you some help too. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's more than just prayer. Let's go ahead on and, which leads me into the evidence of reasoning. So if you get someone that can let you know that they're having these problems, they're learning now that they can seek for help at this point. And there is many people that need help outside of just praying, like I just said.
That's right.
In Mark 2:17, on hearing this, Jesus told them, it is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. I have come to call the righteous, but sinners. But we have to know that even Jesus said, if you're sick, go to a doctor. You know what I'm saying? Seek out help. He, even though he knew he can heal everybody and do everything, but even if you can't get to that, but now, like I said, you have started reasoning, you're able to seek out somebody for help. And I know I'm going through these pretty quickly because we done been on here for a while, and we'll be on here forever if I could. And so the A is appearing of realization. You now know that these feelings are real. You know, after making the decision to see a doctor, you know that these feelings are real. You start realizing how much you need the help. And a lot of people don't understand when they get to the hospital. And I keep going back to the emergency room, where when you have a broken bone or you have a stomach ache and you finally come to the doctor, you realize that, oh my God, it's worse than what I expected. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And that's how it could be with mental illness. We get to a doctor, or we get on that red chair, we go to talk, and we realize, dang, like, I didn't think I had all that to say. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, and the doctor is sitting there just writing everything down. Okay. Like, you know, so we, you know, have to realize, it says in Proverbs 11:14, where there is no guidance, a people falls, but in an abundance of counselors, there is safety. So when we are able to get to a counselor and be able to speak to someone, we'll realize that now we are in the safety. Because most of the time you go to the doctor and you expect that the doctor has, especially when you're in Christ, you expect the doctor that has the wisdom of Christ. You know what I'm saying? That he's going to lead you in the right direction to help you with your mental illness. And so that's the thing. You know, a lot of people hate going to the doctor, and I know, and trust me, I have faith. I'm not, you know, saying I don't have faith, but you know, when people go to the doctor, that's you realizing that you need help. And that's, you know, I don't feel like that means you don't have faith. And that's just, you know, that's me. Anybody else on that? I was going to slow down because I'm going so bad. And finally, the R is real-time relief. We start experiencing some relief when we have gotten the proper help. I'm going to read, Psalms, is that 18 through 19? They attacked me at a moment when I was in distress, but the Lord supported me. He led me to a place of safety. He rescued me because he delights in me. And that, you know, that basically tell you that you got relief now because God has led you to someone to help you get some kind of release. So I went through them quickly. Did anybody have anything to say on them?
I like the
Yeah.
acronym.
Like the acronym? Thank you. I have to ask for God for these acronyms because I try to change them up every time. Somebody keep the same. But anyways, so
I wanted to say that one of the first things that we learned in nursing is that when someone is sick, they don't know what's best for them.
exactly.
So we have to be, you know, for folks, and, you know, like I said, show compassion, help them, be strong, you know, when you go to them, be knowledgeable about, you know, what you're talking about, and, you know, just be compassionate with them. Because
That's
when they
so
don't see
true.
it, they don't, you know, even with physical sickness, you know, they just don't know what's best. And that's what we were
Mhm.
taught.
That's good. That's good. Well, if no one else has anything to say, I have an acronym for God and for fear, which is face everything and rejoice. And so we have to be able to face it, and in that way we can get through it together. And I also wanted to, if you know, for everybody that's listening, I wanted to at least give the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. I don't want anybody to think that we're not here to help, because we are. That is my main goal, is to make sure it touches someone that is experiencing these problems. I don't want anybody to, have to go through this alone. Like I say, if we can reach out to others and love on each other and help each other when we get to those, that boiling point, when we get to the point where we get to the point where we're too low, then we can all come together as a community. This came about when I first started writing this, when I heard about the Buffalo shooting, it just really, really, it messed me up for days. I don't know about anybody else, but I cried for it. I cried every time I read it about those people being shot. And the thing about it, nobody really noticed that this guy was, his illness was, he had mental illness. You know what I'm saying? And it just really touched my heart. Like I'm telling you, I cried for days. So, but anyways, I'm gonna give this number, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and it's 1-800-273-8255. And I'm gonna say it again. It's 1-800-273-8255, and that's for anybody that is, thinking about suicide. We want to make sure that, or just need someone to talk to, because I know a lot of people, when we get in the ER, they just want somebody to talk to. They need someone that will listen. So yeah, go Carl.
And Kiana, one thing I wanted to say, since you brought up the ER, we are busy, but that's one of the questions. Like, where should they go?
Oh, yes.
You're not gonna let your lawn, the guy that does your grass, do surgery on you. So your friend is good for some things, but sometimes you have to go and see a doctor. And since the access to care was a problem I talked about, they can come to the ER. We will connect them with the mental health providers, and some of them have, or everyone that I've dealt with has a list of numbers and free resources to connect them to, so who they can go and get, follow-up care. So, I don't want to just say, talk to your friend, talk to your buddy, talk to your pastor. But if you're feeling overwhelmed, you're like, I can't do this. I'm shaking. I'm nervous. Come to the ER. We'll get you connected with somebody. And as we spoke about the ER, but we didn't speak any details because of HIPAA. So we're not gonna tell anything that you've got going on. I'm gonna wave at you, and I'm gonna keep it moving, because God knows that I've been this close to being right there in that chair, or right there in that seat. So they can come in and get some help. It is a thin line. So I just wish that number is awesome, but some people don't want to make that call. They can come in and put eyes and talk to a person off to the side, and they don't have to say, hey, I'm having mental health. They come up there to that window, write it down, and we'll get them to talk to somebody and get them some help.
That is so good. I thank you, Carl, for saying that, because we want to make sure that you know where to get help. Like you said, you come to the ER, they're going to make sure you're taken care of. And we got good nurses there. I tell you, I love my people in the ER. It's so hard to even think about trying to leave, but it's so hard to, it's so hard to find good help. And most of everybody that are still there are there for a reason. We are there to help you. And if you come there, like he said, we'll help you out. That's so good. Oh, I'm so thankful. I love y'all. This was so good. So I just want to say thank you for being on my panel. Thank you all for listening. Like I said, it's a touchy subject, but we want to make sure that we are doing our part at helping our community. So if you need help, you can reach out to me. You can always reach out to, the Q for Christ page. You can always reach out to anybody. So, and to let us know. And like he said, come to the ER. All right. I thank you all for being on my panel again. I'm going to close out with a quick prayer, and we'll see you on the next Q for Christ. Right. Rosalind.
Well, God, we thank you, oh God, for this night, oh God. We thank you for even this topic on tonight, God. We ask you, oh God, to go with everyone who is watching this, oh God, all the panel, people on the panel on tonight, oh God. Father, Lord Jesus, we thank you, God, right now for touching their minds, oh God. We're rebuking, oh God, suicide thoughts, oh God. We're rebuking anything that's not like you right now, God. Father, Lord Jesus, comfort them in the midnight hour of their lives, oh God. And we just thank you just for being a comforter in those moments and who you are, oh God. And thank you, oh God, for even letting them know who they are,
Yes,
and
God.
letting them know that the darkest night is right before the break of day, oh God.
Yes, God.
Father, Lord Jesus, I thank you just for all the things that you're going to continue to do in their lives and in our lives, oh God. We love you. We honor you. We bless your name. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Thank you all.